This episode is brought to you by Novilla Mattresses. When it comes to your mother, you want her sleeping in a comfortable bed. When she's with me, she won't have to worry about that because I sleep on a Novilla mattress. Let me tell you, when your mom is at my place, she is sleeping on a very comfortable mattress, and she is going to get you one as well. Meet their Bliss Organic Memory Foam Mattress. Perfect for those who want a cool, dry, undisturbed sleep throughout the night, made with organic bamboo charcoal fiber, excellent motion isolation, cooling gel-infused memory foam that fits all bed frames and is reasonably priced. Perfect for if you want an inexpensive mattress for you, your children, or even for your guest room. It comes in a box delivered right to your door, and you get 100 nights to try it out. Skip that trip to the big box mattress store and get a mattress from Novilla. Throw out that cheap Walmart mattress you got in college and get yourself a mattress made by Novilla. Using promo code Schweezy or the link in our description, you can save 10% on any purchase through Novilla directly. Try out the mattress that your mom tried out last night. Again, that's 10% off using promo code Schweezy. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. My fellow Schwoke Lords, what is up? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Cancel Schweezy. You made it. You're here. Questionable if you're queer. But either way, I'm going to get used to it. So welcome to the fucking show, people. Welcome to Cancel Schweezy, better known as the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Exciting stuff going on here. I do think I should say early on in this episode, at least at the beginning of it, I am recording this Monday, March 20th. I'm starting at 8:25 p.m. That's when I'm starting to record this episode. So, whatever happened with the Trump indictment, I don't know anything yet. I don't know what's going to happen. It's coming out March 22nd, so... And you're like, there's probably not going to be too much going on here today. Well, I talked about a rumor about Blink-182 getting back together, and then on Tuesday, they announced it, and then Wednesday, the episode released. So, I'm very often...
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I have been known for playing myself in the last couple of millennia, or millennia meaning... today, I don't know. Anyways, we have a podcast to get to. I ate 2 Double Down chicken sandwiches this week from KFC. This is not sponsored by KFC. I just wanted to point that out. But the Double Down chicken sandwich is back. And some of you aren't fat pieces of shit, so I should probably explain what the Double Down chicken sandwich at KFC is. So, the usual chicken sandwich, it's, you got a bun. It's usually like a hamburger type bun on, with a deep fried chicken patty, unless you order a grill. But we're talking about the deep fried ones. And then toppings are different. Usually it's pickles. I don't like pickles. I always ask for them off. Hot chicken or cold chicken, I prefer that. I prefer no pickles. Some people like pickles. Because surprisingly, Chick-fil-A has pickles. Even though how big they are and pickles not touching. And if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, speaking of it, welcome to Cancel Schweezy. The only podcast that is poly for Jesus. How can you realistically say I'm monogamous? I'm into monogamy. Monogamy is my thing. Yet, you also have a relationship with Jesus too. Now, that's not monogamous if you have a spouse, a partner, and Jesus. So theoretically, we all need to be a little poly for Jesus, okay? And this is the podcast that is requesting you all be poly for Jesus. What would Jesus do? Raleigh, Polly, Ollie. That's Jesus for you.
This is the type of guy you get.
What Jesus was like to everyone. This is the type. Good morning, Julia.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Feel like a woman, a real woman.
Hello, Mary. Good morning, Mary Magdalene. It's me, Joe. Just wanted to say hi. Wish you a great day. I just thought last night, Mary Magdalene, getting to look at you, probably one of the greatest moments of my life. My life has not been... I'm starting to sound like the mayor from The Simpsons. Or Jack Hanna. Ask not what your country can do for you, what you can do for your country. That's Forrest Gump. What am I doing with impressions today? I don't know, but welcome to the show, folks. If you like music, I have music. Go check me out wherever you stream music at. Don't be stingy over there.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
We also got, also got my social media pages. You know which ones I'm on. I'm on all of them, theoretically, even if I'm not active. You'll figure out which ones I'm active on, because if you go to one that's not active, it will not work. So that's at TheSchweezy. TikTok, especially if you're trying to gain TikTok following. And especially Twitch as well, twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. I play video games every Thursday. I'm going to try and beat the Minish Cap this Thursday as we come out. So twitch.tv/TheSchweezy, great thing. A reminder, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can connect it to your Twitch account. And basically that's a free $5 credit to subscribe. Following anyone's free. You should already be doing that. But to subscribe is around $5, and it's a great way to financially support your daddy.
That's my hole. That's where it spits.
Which one is daddy? That's daddy. It's like a porn star, and I forgot this porn star's name. It's like comes in and out. I can't remember who she is. She has nice titties, like those Sydney Sweeney titties, Because I do think they're too big. I don't like them really big. Big and fake, I hate the big and fakes. Big and naturals are good, but the thing with the big and naturals is those sag over time. Sydney Sweeney, though, she has great tits. She does have great tits. She's the kind of girl that, I think I'm going to go into another woman like this. She's just, she's so good looking, it just bums you out. And I'm I'm a guy. She's so good looking, it bums me out. I don't even care how good looking I was. She's not going to deal with any shit that I do. Hey, Sydney, I'm going to be smoking weed and watching TLC. What are you going to be doing, Sydney? It's I'm probably going to try and keep my figure, you fat piece of shit. I'm okay, Sydney. Thank you. Thank you so much. I haven't even watched anything she's been in. Also, it's I've never watched Euphoria. Should I watch Euphoria? Let me know. I could just Google Sydney Sweeney titties, and that'll pop up. You can buy piss jugs on Amazon. I Googled that. I just typed in piss jugs, an actual piss jug. I'm there's no way companies are calling these things piss jugs. But the fact that Amazon's algorithm is so good that I can type in piss jugs and exactly what I need will come up does says a lot about how the internet works these days. If you need a piss jug, you just have to type in piss. You ever look up something medical and you use the slang terms for it, instead of semen or ejaculate, you're just cum. What happens if your nut is red? Shit like that. Sorry I'm coughing so much. What's going on here? I'm drinking some Waterloo. Yeah. Anyways, though, titties are cool. Check us out on Patreon. It's a great way to support us and say thank you for being a friend. It's basically a tip jar right now, so thank you for everyone who helps out, and I'd like to say thank you for being a friend. That's the whole reason for the season, and that's why you're here. But let's not forget all the free shit you can do. Make sure if you're listening to the show on an audio platform, make sure you check out our YouTube page. We're trying to work hard to become a YouTube partner and try to get this channel monetized. So if we can do that, a lot more cooler things will happen. And maybe we can get rid of the Patreon page once and for all. But no, yeah. So basically, if you go to our YouTube page, make sure you subscribe, share our highlights with your friends. We do highlights of everything on the show, everything. So that's cool. Don't be stingy, and subscribe, leave us a comment, especially on the highlights. I feel like that's the most appropriate place. So like, even if you're listening to it and I talk about it, go to the highlight and then comment on it, or worst case scenario, just comment on the actual video episode, because I feel like that's really our chat room right now for everything. So yeah.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
And if you're on the audio platforms, make sure you give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1-star review, and make sure you're subscribed as well. And leave a review. Leave a written review. Don't be stingy, okay?
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
I had a dream. This is a cool thing to talk about. I had a dream, and to notice, I just want to say, I want to start here. I have been trying to do lucid dreaming, which you don't know. It's like you're in a dream, you realize you're in a dream, and you can control things in your dream and like do anything you want to because it's your mind doing shit, you know. Very interesting stuff. It's possible, but like you have to like realize you're in a dream and then be able to manipulate things from there. I've been trying to do this since I'm 17. I am almost 30. So at least 13 years of my life, at least, not like full time. I haven't been like full time trying to lucid dream. Like, this is all I'm doing right now. I've been trying to pursue other things too in the last 13 years. But yeah, like a week or so ago, I was in the dream and I figured out myself, hey, I'm dreaming right now. I'm in a dream. This stuff is in. I had another time too, but it was more like it was turning into a nightmare, and I'm like, I gotta wake up right now. But this time I realized I was in a dream. It was like just a normal dream. You know, you're just like in the world and you're dreaming, you know, that type of dream. And I realized I'm like, oh, I'm in a dream. Oh shit, I finally did it. You know, like in my mind, I'm like, I finally did. I finally lucid dreaming. So the first thing I try to do in the dream is I try flying. So I just like, you know, I take a run start. I'm like Naruto running to this shit. So I like just basically start Naruto running. And then, you know, I basically jump because you're like, I can fly now. I got in the air and I fell straight flat on my face. And you know, like sometimes you're in a dream and you're like, oh, once you get hurt, like you wake up after, like, you know, you fall off a cliff and like the moment you hit, you wake up. And apparently that's a sign that like your brain doesn't know what happens after that. So you just wake up. No, I was still on my face. I think I've landed flat on my face many times to at least know what it is that happens when you do that. So, what is the story here? If there are any dream experts, I would love to hear from you. I want to hear from you. But with the lesson I learned, just because you know you're in a dream does not mean you can control what happens in it. Apparently I might need to rewatch Inception. That's honestly the answer to that problem. I'm like, oh man, I need to make sure my throat is clear or whatever for the next take. But we're going to suffer through. We're going to move along. Moving along as into previous week right now. What is previous week right now? You may be asking, well, that's just basically the news from last week I'm going over right now. So hopefully, yeah. And like I said, I'm recording this Monday, March 20th. It's 8:37 right now as I'm like hitting the record. I just looked at the iPad. I can look at my computer too, and I figured out the time. So that's the day. If anything significant happens, we're gonna get into it next week because we're in the next week. Next week it'll be the previous week. So
I identify as a fucking threat.
But anyways, though, let's just, you know, jump into it, as our buddy Phil DeFranco would say.
Let's just jump into it.
This is from AP, not Alternative Press. I think it's Associated Press. The fact that those two got so big, and I feel like they got big at the same time, is an argument in and of itself. But that's for another day, and for people who aren't me, because I don't really actually care. I just have to make sure y'all know it's like, is it the emo magazine? It's not the emo magazine. That is the answer. Lack of hugs caused fentanyl crisis, Mexico leaders say. Okay.
What?
Mexico's president said Friday that U.S. families were to blame for fentanyl overdose crisis because they don't hug their kids enough. The comment by President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador caps a week of provocative statements from him about the crisis caused by the fentanyl, a synthetic opioid trafficked by Mexican cartels that has been blamed for about 70,000 overdose deaths per year in the United States. Lopez Obrador said family values have broken down in the United States because parents don't let their children live at home long enough. He has also denied that Mexico produces fentanyl. On Friday, the Mexican president told a morning news briefing that the problem was caused by a lack of hugs, of embraces. There is a lot of disintegration of families. There is a lot of individualism. There is a lack of love, of brotherhood, of hugs and embraces, Lopez Obrador said of the U.S. crisis. That is why U.S. officials should be dedicating funds to address the causes. Lopez Obrador has repeatedly said that Mexico's close-knit family values are what have saved it from the wave of fentanyl overdoses. Experts say that Mexican cartels are making so much money now from the U.S. market, and they see no need to sell fentanyl in their home market. Cartels frequently sell methamphetamines in Mexico, where the drug is more popular because it purposely helps people work harder. Lopez Obrador has been stung by calls in the United States to designate Mexican drug gangs as terrorist organizations. Some Republicans have said they favor using the U.S. military to crack down on the Mexican cartels. On Wednesday, Lopez Obrador called anti-drug policies in the U.S. a failure Wednesday and proposed a ban in both countries on using fentanyl in medicine, even though little of the drug crosses from hospitals into the illegal market. U.S. authorities estimate that most illegal fentanyl is produced in clandestine Mexican labs using Chinese precursor chemicals. Relatively little of the illegal market comes from diverting medicinal fentanyl used as anesthesia in surgeries and other procedures. There have been only scattered and isolated reports of glass flasks of medicinal fentanyl making it to the illegal market. Most illegal fentanyl is pressed by Mexican cartels into counterfeit pills made to look like other medications like Xanax, oxycodone, and Percocet. So, this is funny because the teachers they're just like they're not like the president. He's like. See, and I'm gonna think out loud a little bit more because I actually don't really think I do agree with him that our anti-drug laws in the United States are absolute dog shit, and like it was admitted to being racist to like an easy way to track down black people, and there's a lot of shit to get into that I shouldn't be running my mouth talking about because I will 100%. Offend people who I did not intentionally mean to offend. And shit like that. I don't know how to talk adultly on that. But, like, you can't tell me, well, there is a fentanyl crisis. And first off, I forgot to do this, I was going to talk about fentanyl, and I forgot to do this. Fentanyl, these balls in your jaws. We need to do like a cancel Schweezy bingo where it's like whenever I do anything, it's like you get the space. Like talks about dead dad, that's a space. I feel like come on Mark. If I say come on Mark, don't be stingy. No, if I don't play the soundbite. If I say come on Mark, don't be stingy, that's a good one. I would say maybe this is the type of guy you getting or anything, but maybe not. BuzzFeed article, that's a space. Dumb news article. That's a good one. Anyways, though, what do I actually have to say on this? Are opioids bigger in the United States but like, there's so many things wrong. You said, Mexicans use methamphetamines. I thought that was like an American thing, I always thought that was like trash Americans love meth. Like, it's like, the rich people like cocaine. The poor is like crack. White people love painkillers. I feel like that's white people shit right there. I bet there's. I think I actually know some black. I was like, black people on the painkiller. I'm like, I know a couple people who are some black people who are into painkillers. People I know. It's not fucking like some guy. Putting all these nuts in your mouth. That's a good joke. Yeah, no, but yeah, this shit's made in Mexico, and like, I don't even know, like, what the hell are we supposed to do about the cartel, dude? For real? Like, the only thing I could say is like, legalize the drugs they're selling, and then it's like, why would I get it? Why would I hang out with sketchy people to get drugs when I can go to the gas station? You know, dude, it's so weird. Dispensaries are so, you know, I just thought dispensaries were gonna be like liquor stores. You know, you just look around, pick up what you want, get it. You know, yada yada yada. Though, like, I will say, like, liquor things, like, the small stuff can be, and that's why they keep it behind the glass, but, like, it's not like you can go to a shelf and pick something out. Like, you have to ask the guy at the counter, like, can I get this? Like, yeah, sure. I always just do, like, it's easier to do pre-orders. Like, you do pre-orders at weed dispensaries, just like, oh, yeah, I had a pre-order, and I'm just here to pick it up and pay for it, you know? Like, you don't even have to put your card in, you just, like, pay cash when you're there. And, like, everything's behind, like, a glass, and then they just, like, put it in a bag for you or whatever. Like, that's all it is. And so, like, I love the little tracking update. Like, yeah, I'm going to buy this, and I'll just pick it up ASAP. They're like, in 1 minute, you're like, all right, your order has been received. Your order is ready. Just, like, in, like, 2-second increments, you know? There's like, oh, someone ordered this. Let me go to our organized shelf and take it off for them. But it is weird because, like, what they have week to week can be different. And shit like that. Anyways, I didn't say anything good. I don't think that's going to be a highlight, so I don't think that's going to be... Sorry for everyone. I thought I at least had to... It was at least just... I made you laugh. It was like, Americans don't get hugs enough. And that's why they do fentanyl. Mexicans get plenty of hugs. I watched Encanto. I know they're right. Oh, okay. We got some news. Let's get into our segment we like to call...
Cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff.
From Thompson Highway. Okay, you know. Okay. You know where we're going. Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood divorce rumors and the fans' reactions.
Oh my gosh, so deep. I fucking love it.
Okay. For years, country music fans have been captivated by the love story of Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. The couple met in 1987 and were married in 2005. However, in recent months, rumors have been swirling that the two are headed for divorce. There has been no official confirmation of this, but the speculation has put their fans on alert, wondering if the beloved couple is really calling it quits. In this article, we will examine the rumor and look at the evidence that could point to a pending split between Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. We will also explore how their fans have reacted to the possibility of a divorce and how the couple has addressed the speculation. And understandable, the Yearwood and Brooks' 15 years marriage can be difficult. It is a result of their strong-mindedness and leadership ability, she claims. Prior to that, the musicians both went through divorce. They used some alone time to discuss their marriage's most serious problem. You sit down and do what you need to do. He says, oh, sorry folks, I messed up. I've been messing up these. You sit down and you do what needs to do. Do what you need to do. He says, and that allows you to be better when you come to the other side. The marriage of Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood was solemnized on December 10th, 2005. Fans are aware that they have been friends for far longer than that. There was numerous Brooke hit covers by the duo, and they toured together as well as with each other. Sandy Mall, Garth Brooks' ex-wife, was a fan of her ex-husband's decision to marry Trisha Yearwood. He proposed to her and she responded by saying it was a good decision. Their 3 daughters have grown up knowing their parents are devoted to each other. It was after reading Sandy's comments about their marriage that Garth realized how surprised he was that their marriage was solemnized in 2005, and they have been together ever since. These two country music superstars are two of the industry's most well-known stars, but their achievements extend far beyond the stage and into the lives of their fans. Despite having a combined net worth of over $400 million, they have decided to stay in Nashville, where they have lived since the early 1900s. That's wrong. Where they have lived since the early 1900s. I'm legit. That's what I read. I just copied and pasted this in the script. Yearwood recently revealed in an interview that she became a bonus mom after marrying Brooks when she joined their family. She claims that despite the difficulties, this experience has been one of the most rewarding in her life. It is clear that Yearwood shares a strong bond with Brooks about his children, and it is an example of family power, which has unquestionably played a role in their success. Despite their wealth and fame, both Garth and Trisha could have chosen to live anywhere in the world. However, it is clear that home represents not only a place, but also the passion and commitment they demonstrate for their children. Okay, so went a little off rails there a little bit. So they've lived since the early 1900s. The early 1900s, where they have lived since the early 1900s. What's going on? Anyways, there's some tea here. We have tea. And the tea is Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood headed for divorce. You can't necessarily, I don't know their couple, because whatever thing they're putting on for the world, it's clearly not 100%. I'm Mr. Yearwood. I'm Garth Brooks. Don't check my closet. I got a fresh body in there. Okay, so also, Jeffrey Dahmer, he just had the smell of rotting bodies, and he was just like, I'm used to it. It's okay. But, that smell, somehow evolution has gotten so far that the smell of a dead human body is like a trigger to our brain that something bad's going on, if you smell a dead body, it's like, oh, there could be danger probably. I think that's just, how we were made to see things, undoubtedly. Do you think Garth Brooks cares for a smell of a dead body? Or you think he's used to it like Jeffrey Dahmer was? Because I'm not entirely sure. But no, this didn't really go over the tea of what's going on between their divorce. However, though, marriage is hard, I don't know that. Everyone tells me. And, I think friendships are hard, and I think marriage is close to that, at least close enough to that, if I want to be a good friend, I got to work to be a good friend. If you want to be a good husband, you have to work to be a good husband. And you're not always a good husband or a good friend or a good daddy, You know what I'm saying? But, so even though we don't know much about their divorce, I am curious. I actually hope they stay together. Unless it's because Garth, she's found the bodies. In that case, I think, you should probably get a divorce, Trish, and give the families closure. Because honestly, Garth has killed so many people at this point, the families need closure. That's for sure. All right, we're going to our last article we got here from The Verge. Pornhub is under new ownership.
What you ready to get fucked up?
A Canadian private equity firm has acquired MindGeek, the company behind Pornhub, YouPorn, and other major adult media sites. Financial Times reported that newly found Ethical Capital Partners acquired MindGeek for an undisclosed amount, and that it will continue to operate under an unidentified group of current executives alongside an ECP management team that includes lawyers and former cannabis investors. ECP also confirmed on the news site MindGeek is a massive but troubled brand. The company owns some of the highest traffic sites on the internet, but it's also faced persistent criticism that it's failed to prevent users from uploading or viewing illegal videos, including child sex abuse materials. Its long-standing moderation problems reached a tipping point in 2020 when Visa and MasterCard both cut off service to Pornhub, prompting it to remove most of its videos and build out a mandatory age verification system for actors. While MindGeek got payment services restored to Pornhub, the payment processor has continued to deny access to its ad network Traffic Junkie after a California court said Visa could potentially be held liable for helping MindGeek monetize child porn. Legal challenges against the site remain ongoing, and it could face further pressure as U.S. lawmakers push to weaken liability protections for websites under Section 230. MindGeek CEO and COO Ferris Antune and David Tassillo both stepped down in mid-2022. This all adds up to a series of challenges that go beyond even the baseline difficulty of running a large web platform in 2023. ECP's press release gestures at solving the company's legal issues. It says it intends to focus on investing in MindGeek as the internet leaders in fighting illegal online content, including playing a leading role in the fight against illegal content across the internet. A role that possibly includes things like the MindGeek affiliated page verification tool Age ID, which it has previously promoted for use by other adult sites, or its image recognition tool Safeguard. What exactly is Ethical Capital Partners, that investment firm that appeared, blah, 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 I'm not going to read that, which similarly appeared out of nowhere ahead of potential deals for Pornhub, also had a prominent reference to ethics. Its promise to put ethics first to deliver safe, legal, and positive experience for adults. If these are the same people 2 years apart, what plan might they have for MindGeek? The previous plan was simple: restructure, rehabilitate its reputation, and flip it or merge it with a SPAC, according to a side deck obtained by part of the late 2020 investigation by The Logic. The idea was called Project Narsil, a reference to the broken sword in The Lord of the Rings, and suggested that the acquisition target is one of the most recognized and undervalued brands in the adult entertainment and technology sector. So I watched Netflix has a new documentary about Pornhub, and it's very interesting because one thing I think they did right is they got both every side of the argument. Every side of at least the argument, like, because we're all know, like, Pornhub. Most of us can agree Pornhub should not have child porn on it. Like, and yeah, and I've learned, like, sometimes that shit slips through the cracks. Like. And so, a lot of them are like, yeah, I like porn. I have a career in porn, and I wanted to continue to do a career in porn. Sherry DeVille was on it, and if you know who she is, we like the same type of porn, so you're good. But no, it was basically like after, a lot of that stuff came up, like how, anonymous stories of, like, they're trying to take things down. And part of me feels like with Pornhub, though, like, I don't know how, their team, like, there's only so much they can do, but, like, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll take this down, but, like, it's already been up for so long, and too late. It's just, it's a problem with the internet, so, they kind of have to, they need to get the people from the Facebook, the ones that get mad at me for posting shit. We need to get those people over at Pornhub. But, yeah, no. A lot of times, like, when you go to, like, a specific creator, you can go to creators pages on Pornhub. And what you can do with that is, like, when you're the creator, it's, like, basically you have to scan your ID to make sure you're 18. Or whoever's uploading anything has to make sure they scan their IDs and shit like that, So they have all that information. So I think, there's, like, they mentioned, like, things they need to change or whatever. And most people were like, oh, that's extremely reasonable shit. It's just to try to help get child porn on Pornhub, I don't like the way kids look. I'm gonna be honest with you. Fuck kids, dude. Fuck your child. Your child specifically. But no, basically it's pretty, I guess they're getting under new management. Yeah, but no, like the payment system. And there's creators on Pornhub too, like OnlyFans, but like I don't know, it's a hard answer to this. Like, people are like, just get rid of Pornhub altogether. I'm like, I mean, if we're gonna have internet porn, there needs to be one safe website for porn. I mean, does that make sense? Like, we should have one safe porn website, because sometimes you just want to jerk off, and when there's, like, real porn stars and shit, who legit make content, they make content. They really get fucked and do that shit for money. Like, that's, like, oh, would you have sex with this guy if it wasn't for money? No, absolutely not. And then, it makes money. So, I do want a safe space. Porn needs a safe space. And I think that's what Pornhub needs to understand. Like, they need to be the porn safe space, Add more T-girls. I don't know. That's probably the best answer. Add more T-girls, Pornhub. That's what we really need you to do. Have you ever been out in public and thought, hey, look at that fat guy. only for it to turn out to be a mirror and you are in fact the fat guy. That was the moment that kickstarted me into becoming the greatest health expert the world has ever seen. But I wasn't born being built different. Like Joe Cocker before me, I get by with a little help from my friends. And my friends happen to be today's sponsor, FNX Fitness. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. I also really enjoy their clothing line that makes you look good while you work out as well. Another thing I love about FNX Fitness is that with every purchase, they donate a gallon of water to a child in need. Start working out smarter, not harder, by using the link in our description today. You can save 15% on your purchase. Go save 15% on some of the best supplements out there when using the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you're at the beach, you aren't going there naked, letting everyone see your little shrunken PP from being in the water. No, you're wearing some sort of clothing to cover up your privates. So why would you let companies you buy products from have access to the privates of your credit cards? That's where today's sponsor, Privacy, becomes the clothing for your credit card information. Privacy is the first payment product that keeps your personal information private while being even more convenient than using a physical payment card online. Privacy empowers you to protect your physical card information. Each merchant you share your card information with puts you more at risk to hackers or data breaches. Why not use a privacy card instead? By creating a virtual card with privacy for each merchant you shop with, your physical card is safe and secure. Privacy cards can be paused or closed at any time, preventing any future transactions from being authorized. Privacy cards can also be single use, meaning they close after just one authorized transaction. One of my favorite ways to use privacy is for a service with a free trial that requires you to put in a credit card to sign up. But wait, there's more. By using the link in our description, you can get $5 to spend anywhere. That's money you get to use. So start paying the smart way with Privacy. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show.
Move, bitch, get out my fucking way.
Women's
History Month.
So to continue celebrating Women's History Month over here on Cancel Schweezy, we're going to go over things that are... You can make a large leap of faith into thinking it's about women's history. So we're going to talk about Hoarders now. I remember Hoarders. I remember the show. And I've been watching some episodes of it. I didn't watch every episode. Oh my God, dude. That'd be... Like, I still have a plan to do a whole series on the Secret Life of the American Teenager. I'm getting close to the end of season 3. There's so much of it, dude. It's like so much, and it's just the same fucking shit. And they're like, men are terrible and will nut in you. That's what the show's about. So Hoarders. Now, I know Hoarders is an A&E show, and I believe many A&E shows are on Discovery Plus. So, booted up that subscription, to watch it. And they have, most recent, 3 seasons and then just another random season, maybe, season 1. So I'm like, I heard season 6 had all the craziest fucking episodes. So that'd be the episodes, I need to watch those episodes. So, I check Hulu. And it looks like it from just, a first glance, Hulu has all the seasons. I'm like, all right, I heard this episode in season 6 was good. I want to watch it. Season 6 not there. Season 3 is not there. So I'm just like, what the fuck? YouTube has every episode of Hoarders just available for free on YouTube. Why am I fucking paying for streaming services when everything is on YouTube? With ads, of course. Everything's... And I had YouTube Premium, but I'm just not using it enough to justify the premium part, If it was the same price as Disney Plus, I would 100% subscribe to YouTube Premium again. But it's like I watch YouTube videos to fall asleep, and my computer has an ad blocker. Then if I want to watch it on my Apple TV, I just have to sit through ads.
This is the type of guy you get.
This is who I am. So yeah, if you'd like to watch Hoarders, my best suggestion would be YouTube. And if it's on YouTube, Hulu hopefully has it. But YouTube has the good ones. YouTube has I'm like wheezing and shit like that. Smoke weed every day. But no, so yeah, YouTube has all the good episodes for some fucking reason. Which is nice though, because like, you know, when I go to my friend's house, I don't know, when I go to a friend's house, I'm like, pull up YouTube videos so we can laugh at something. And I'm like, that's why I get, you know, some people, you know, bringing someone to a party or whatever. Like, what are you going to bring, Sam? I'm going to bring entertainment. You know, I just, you know, I'm a very, you know, I really was born to be an entertainer. Like, I don't care if it was music, acting, comedy, podcasting, party planning. Like, I just know how to entertain. So I always, friends just want to hang out, pull up some YouTube videos. And an easy thing to get into is a lot of TLC content, you know, A&E content, you know. A&E is not as bad as TLC, though. You know, I always bring up those contents, so yeah, that's what I bring to the table. So yeah, I kind of had to start getting into the green screen fell. I had to kind of get into. That's why I need to stop moving. That's what happens. Yeah. Anyways, so I'm the best. But anyways, though, hoarders. So if you know what hoarders is hoarding is a disorder, which we all know. Someone I have family members. I don't want to dox any family members. No, but I have some. And honestly, if I talk shit on anyone, I'm only really speaking to myself at the end, because like I have a problem with hoarding things. I try to make sure, like, if it's actual trash, I can like part ways with them. Like, I don't have that problem. But I'll be the guy's like, yeah, I have these books. Yeah, I don't know. I just need to figure out a place to put them. And then that's the problem with hoarders' houses. They just don't know a place to put them. So honestly, if you're rich, you can be a hoarder. Like, if you're rich, just be a hoarder. Like, you know, yeah, I had to buy another house to store all my things in. And it's just like, if you just have your things organized, even if you have too much of it, like, I feel like it's a little bit better. But one argument they went on the show, and this is what they did on the show, because some guys would collect things, you're like, no, I can make money off of that. And then one of the guys in Hoarders, like a cleanup specialist, he's just like, I love cleaning. I love just throwing shit away. And like, this show is not good for the environment. This show is not good for the environment. Let's just be honest. But they like a couple episodes, they're like, oh, how much do you think you're gonna make off like all this stuff here that like you want to get rid of, but like, you know, but you're like, no, I can sell it though. That's how I want to get rid of it. You give them the dollar amount, and they'll be like, all right, we're just gonna cut you a check for that dollar amount. We're just gonna take it away, you know, or whatever, you know. They could sell it themselves or whatever. Sell it to they go to the Pawn Stars guys, you know. That's how it's all is just a fucking circle of whatever. But no, that's very interesting, because like I'll keep things around for the mindset of like, oh, I need to fix this and then sell it, you know. That's the kind of guy I am, you know.
This is the type of guy you get.
But yeah, no, so that's a good thing. Which has reminded me to clean a lot of things, you know. That this show is like really on like, yeah, you think your house is bad, look at this place. And I have always had like junk piles of just like things, and the trick with a junk pile is to hide it well. That's the real trick. Just have a good hiding spot for your junk pile. And don't put trash in the junk pile either. Like that's a big thing, like realizing things are trash. Like some of these people on these episodes are like, oh no, those canned goods, I can eat them one day if something bad happens. Like, this expired in 1980, lady. I don't think you're gonna even want to eat this. Like this is more poison than it is good for you, and shit like that. And yeah, so that's some thoughts I had. They do 2 plot lines an episode, which I don't like. I don't know. I kind of get the idea to fill runtime, but start with one, then go to the other. Don't mishmash in between. That's what my 600-pound life does best. One episode for one person, or maybe like 2 people if they're, you know, it's like a sibling thing. You know, like you just have a fat family. You know, we have fat family. We all have fat family members. Just realized that one of them in my family got really skinny, so I might be the fat family member now. I think I might be the fat family member now. Anyways, though, please let me marry your mom so she can be the fattest family member for my family. No, so yeah, the 2 plot lines, because sometimes I like to watch it because they're terrible people, and I like to watch bad things happen to terrible people. Because most of the people on this show, like, city inspectors have like come over and like, this house, we may have to condemn this house. It's like in such bad condition and shit like that because of the hoarding or whatever, you know. And I don't know, I might talk about this later, but also part of me is like, okay, I get the outdoor, I can kind of get like outdoor rules, you know, with your house, you know, where it's like, hey, we don't want you to have a fucking million snakes in your yard. That's why we want you to cut your grass or whatever, you know. And I get stuff like that, you know, and stuff like that. But okay, what was I going to? I have to make sure I remember what plot I was going to. But like, no, yeah. So like your outside stuff, like it's like it can be harmful to another person, whatever. But like, I feel like if you bought a house and you own this house. And, like, I feel like, I don't know, part of me feels like if you're not doing illegal shit, you know, you're not, like, fucking tying up people in your basement, I feel like if that's your space, God damn it, we can't even clip this now. You can stop moving, okay. So, I'm going to start over so we can get a good clip for TikTok. But we're saying, though, these hoarders, the houses are so hoarded, and they become gross, and they become disgusting, and shit like that. And so you have to think to yourself, like, that house is unlivable. It's not safe to be in that house. But if it's just, like, one person, like, I get it. If it's like, yeah, this guy's a hoarder, and his grandma lives with him, and the grandma's not doing too good with her health. Stuff like that. A lot of these people have some health problems and shit like that. That's another story. We're not getting into that. But, like, if it's just one person, and they're like, yeah, I have trash mounds in my home and rats living everywhere and feces, you know, for me living here on my own, I paid for this house, I should be able to, you know, live in that. I think it's fine. I feel like I kind of get annoyed. I'm kind of with those, like, don't tread on me people, where it's like, oh, the government's going to come in here, like, yeah, we're going to condemn your house, you can't live here anymore. I'm like, I paid money, like, this is my home, this is my land. The city doesn't own this shit, you know. That's where, you know, that's like the liberal leaving my body. It's like, kind of like when you're an atheist, but then like you get on a plane and, you know, for some reason every time you get on a plane, takeoff and landing is always just sketchy for some reason. And then like, you know, you're coming in, like you're an atheist, but like the atheism leaves your body, your soul for a second when you're like the plane's going up in the air or taking or landing. You're like, oh no, Jesus Christ, I accept you. And then it's up in the sky fine. You're like, never mind, you don't exist again. Shit like that. But no, I don't know. That's like, yeah, the liberalism leaving my body. I mean, like, that's their property. They should be able to do what they want with it because they're not doing anything illegal now. They just fucking have every newspaper that's ever existed ever in their home. Like, that's who they are.
This is the type of guy you get.
You also learn. You actually learn things. You know, it's a learning show. So you'd be surprised. You'd probably learn. It's on A&E Arts and Entertainment. It's not TLC. It's not the Learn Channel. So if it's on A&E, I mean, like, watch these people who are fucking out of their mind. They're not out of their mind. I think realistically, it's like either you get really depressed where it functions your everyday life, which I've lived in homes that are, you know, I see like that subreddit, like neckbeard nests or whatever, and I see them and it's like, you know, there is the guy who like lives with his mom and pisses in jugs and shit like that. But you also have like people who are just really depressed, and I can relate firsthand that if you're seriously depressed, cleaning is the last thing you do. And you're like, don't you want to live in a clean room? I'm like, yeah. But it's like, you have to like put that effort in for you. It's like really fucking weird. Shit like that. Just, I don't even know where this is going to crop. Hopefully I survive. So yeah, you know, if you're just a one person living in a small house and you're a hoarder, you should be able to live that way. You know, it shouldn't be a problem unless it like affects other people. If it just affects you, you should be able to live however you want. You know, it is bad. Some of these people are like, we have a child. There's urine all over the carpets. Because we can't use the toilet, so we just piss all over the carpets. And our son has health problems. It's like, no shit.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Anyways, though, let's get into a couple episodes that made me, that entertained me. I mean, I was like shocked or laughing. I don't think I was. I actually kind of felt. I kind of feel bad because I'm not too far off. I'm a couple bad things from it happening to me to becoming that person. Just for me to like really, just fucking break down. If it happens fast enough, it'll do it. But anyways, though, one episode which is everyone's like, this is the best episode of Hoarders ever. I'm like, that shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing. It's like these people have a lot of problems in their life, and fucking we're filming it. And they're like, this is the best episode of the show we've ever had. And we're talking about Shanna, which in the episode Shanna, she was like, you've seen people with worse places than mine, have you? And Shanna is known this is the worst house on this show that will ever exist. And so what happened in Shanna's episode? Now there's another person in there. I don't think that person was that entertaining to me, but nevertheless he persisted. So the big thing is, obviously she had things everywhere. This woman, like I did say, you're either depressed or you have autism. Like I said, this show is about what happens when you let autistic people live alone. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. These are the times that it's not. So the Shannon episode was insane and shit like that. She didn't know what to... Oh, yeah, so the reason why she had a ton of garbage is because she, turned off... she canceled her garbage service or whatever, which... I've lived in most places I've lived. I've not had to worry about that. The garbage is, the last thing I have to worry about. Anyways, though, this woman, she's, clearly mentally ill. She's on disability, so that's how she has money to be able to live. I guess that's, that's always a good question. Because just who she is. So let's be aware she is autistic. So she, and she had problems. Her mom died and stuff like that. She was living with her mom and everything got worse from there. So this is not funny. Do not laugh. So she didn't know how to clear out the septic tank. She wanted to save money on that. I don't even know what's going on. So she decides to start pooping in a bucket, this big ass fucking Home Depot bucket. That's where she poops now. But, obviously, she don't want to be fucking leaving poop in her home. Obviously, you fucking idiot. Why do you do that? So she's like, okay, I'll pour it out in the front lawn. So she's been pouring her poo out in the front lawn. That, you think, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. And I'm going to say it gets worse. And some are going to think, this is what Schweezy thinks is worse. But to me, I feel like I'm validated in what I'm about to say. So the big ass Home Depot bucket she takes a shit in. It's filled up. It's too heavy for her to carry out. Obviously, a big ass bucket with her shit in it, mostly liquid, and I don't vomit. It's just filled with her shit. Oh no, that was a bad moment. So it was too heavy for her to carry out and pour out her fucking shit in her front lawn. So she had to pour it into a smaller bucket so she could carry it out to the front lawn. Jesus. Dude, I'm gagging a little bit. Okay. You feel like you might throw up and you've learned to control that intention of you. I'm clearly not anorexic, folks. Look at my fucking chins. So, yeah. So you pour the poo into the smaller bucket. That way she could carry it out to her lawn. In my mind, I would just shit in the little bucket and then continue to just pour that out more often. But I'm not the expert. I'm not the expert on that. That house was literally bad. And I feel bad for her. She's like, I'm not the worst hoarder you guys have ever seen. Oh yeah, this is the episode everyone goes to. Which one is the worst hoarder? It's you. That woman was like, yeah, I don't think this house is gonna be very much be condemned or whatever. And then she had to live with her family member. That woman should, an assisted living type of situation is what we need. I don't know what I mean when I say assisted living. I would say, I have an aunt who's a grandma. She lives in it's a retirement community. That's what it's not assisted living. It's a retirement community. She just has oxygen and a crutch and whatever. And they have heavy duty elevators there. You're you go on those elevators and you get to the next floor. You're that was the like most efficient elevator experience I ever had. If you can't experience that, you're like, I want to go on some of the best elevators in the world. Go to like a retirement home or retirement community or something like that. Like a good one. Like, don't go to like the fucking shitty ones. Go to a good one. You're like, do I love my grandma or is she my grandma? And I feel obligated to help her out. If you love your grandma, you know you put her in the good one. A lot of detours in this. I didn't mention. So yeah, Shannon was the worst. Just a lot of poo everywhere. But also, I think I didn't mention that a lot of older people do have. That's why it's probably more of a thing right now with like the older generation right now, just because they're basically were affected by the Great Depression. So like in some ways, like they had to learn from their parents, like, we got to save everything. Like newspapers, yeah, you can make that into a dress for tomorrow. So like, you know, and that stuff is hard because that was such a traumatic experience for like millions of people. May I say billions or trillions? I don't know how many people existed back then that were affected by it. Yeah, so Great Depression was a problem. So maybe like once, you know, we'll see those people. We're seeing them fade away. We're seeing them fade away. That's not fucking funny, dude. So like, yeah, maybe hoarding will be a lot of older. To be honest, they were a lot older. A lot of them were older. They were a lot older. Just want to say that. I think the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to like the show Hoarders is there are people who hoard animals. Like their house isn't bad because of like just like I want all the things, you know, and I want to save everything because maybe I may need it one day, but like, you know, sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you can't like I may need that one day, but like I don't think it's convenient for me to leave in my home right now. But then there's people who hoard animals, and that fucking those are fucking hard episodes to watch because like there's women who hoard. Also, first of all, let's talk about it. If you hoard animals, like these people have 50 plus animals in their homes, you know. It has to be an animal squat. There's not a lot of dog hoarders on the show. Not a lot of dog owners. Just hear barking all the time. Like, you know, you live somewhere like you have a neighbor and they have a dog and you hear them bark. And like, you know, I've had neighbors who've had a dog and like they're letting the dogs outside or whatever, you know, like poo or whatever, and then a car drove by and they honked at the car, or they saw someone walking by that barked at it. He's like, you know, you just hear dogs, and you know, worst case scenario, get a white noise machine. Like people, like if noises are a real problem, white noise machines. I'll tell you that way. And it's like you're like, I like having a fan, but I'm always cold. Like the white noise machine is basically like a replacement for the fan, and it just helps you. And there is a weird thing that helps you hear better when there's just like white noise in the background of something. You know, I worked at like call centers and stuff. They just had like little speakers that just played like white noise. White noise is incredible, people. It's like if you're the kind of person who can't sleep without a fan, but like are also like don't really use the fan for like fan purposes, white noise machine. It's gonna be good for you. That's a fucking. Oh yeah, that's why you can't have dogs. But like most of the episodes I see people who hoarded were people who hoarded cats, and it's like it's really sad because there's a couple episodes. I think one I'm Terry. What I really want to talk about, she hoarded like 50 cats. Like she had more than 50 cats. Because I guess she was. I think she would fall under depressed. Maybe autistic and a little depressed. You know, I think we're all that way. Autistic and a little depressed. Autistic and a little sad. But you know, she has a longing for like taking care of things, and cats are easy because like sometimes cats just show up because like we do have a population of a bunch of just like wild house type cats, and I think they're good just to be like they exist in society because you know they eat rats and shit like that, and fuck rats. But like Terry would keep dead ones in her freezer. Be like, we're gonna cremate them someday. I'm like, I'll cremate them right now. Like, it can't be that hard to cremate a cat, you know? I'm not going to get into it with humans. I don't know how to do it, okay? I don't know how to cremate a human. I will tell you this, though. I could probably figure out cremating a cat. Like, I could figure... The cat's already dead. I'm not gonna fucking kill the cat then do it. I can't kill animals. I could kill a deer. 100%. But, like, people were like, you're gonna shoot it with a gun? Nah, I want to fucking... Square with my fucking hands. Break its fucking neck. Yeah, so that's bad. And the dead one's in the freezer. Oh, yeah, they were uncovered, too. I had to mention that. And then another episode like Lisa, she hoarded cats, and pretty bad. The houses that hoard animals are, I want to say this right, is a different breed. Because it's like, their house is like, just disgusting from animals, because that's where animals live. And, when you see animals in grass and dirt, it's one thing, but when we see it with like household in a house or whatever, it's gross. It just becomes gross. And so Lisa hoarded cats too, and people who, as nice as I want to say it, it's like, what happens if you let autistic people live by themselves? It's like, these are the situations it's like autistic people can live by themselves, but it's also like no one's checking on them and making sure they're like. It's like, it's like a college dorm. If anyone had to live in a college, suffer through a college dorm, and you're like, yeah, there's an RA. It's like, hey, you better not have any open beer cans in this room. We can check everything that is school owned, but if it's your property, we can't look in there. Stuff like that. And me and my sweet mate would just like leave the TV on all the time and like lights on. Like we just leave and like the lights on, and most kids were raised like, you just don't leave the lights on, and I'm like, we already overpaid. I already paid for housing, like overpaid for it. I'm like, I'm not worried about this. I'll piss in the sink. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. So yeah, the worst one was Glenn. He hoarded rats, and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, he hoarded rats. He had one or two that he liked a lot, and then from there, he just let them live there. This green screen is fucking killing me, dude, today. Dude, he just had fucking rats. And so, like, the whole thing was, like, getting rats to leave his house, and he's like, this rat's dying, and you're like, yeah, I see rats with bite marks, because it's probably, like, breeding season or whatever. And, you're saying, I hate this fucking green screen. Or I hate it sometimes. Sometimes it works fine. So the rats were like I felt bad for the cats, because like some cats had to be put down because they were like seriously bad. They were in so bad shape, because like that's the problem when you have like 50, and like if they're outdoor cats, farm cats, just let them be. Don't feed them. Let them be. Because if you feed them, they're not going to hunt mice, and you want them to hunt mice. And yeah. Pretty fucking disgusting. That's Hoarders. Hope you all liked it. I talked way too long about it. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about, I'm going to just talk about this pretty quickly. I watched Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I went to a movie theater. I went to a real-life movie theater. I got popcorn. I got soda. Got everything. I did the whole experience. My feet were sticky on my Crocs. Stuck to the floor of the movie theater. It was great. And Fear of the Gods, I have to say, I fucking really enjoyed that movie. I think I don't know, like when you say the DC movies, it's like, oh, do you consider like the TV movie they made for Linda Carter? I'm like, I don't know. Adam West, I don't know. But I'm talking about like, recent movies, I thought it was really great. I think critics didn't like it, but fans really liked it. It's very much, I think just critics hate superhero movies right now, and like we're still into them. But it's like, let us watch these, please. But I think Shazam, I think this movie has really cemented it in DC's most underrated franchise. I assume with the medium soft reboot of DC that I think Shazam's gonna be in it, because James Gunn's wife was in the movie, And I assume, I really do assume that the Peacemaker catalog of people, the Suicide Squad people, will probably make their way back into to the new DC, instead of the DCEU, DCU, which finally they're fucking figuring that shit out. So no, that's one thing. I don't want to spoil too much about this movie, so I'm gonna try not to. But here's the one thought I had. Every woman in the movie's hot. You're like, Helen Mirren's the bad guy. I'm like, you're telling me you wouldn't fuck her? You're telling me you wouldn't fuck Helen Mirren? I would 100%. It's like someone asking if you'd fuck Betty White, like when she was 99. It's like, as a courtesy, I will do it for her enjoyment. I would probably enjoy it too. I'm gonna be honest. It's Betty fucking White, dude. But no, in Fury of the Gods, every woman's hot in the game except for the little girl. The Shazam adult her is hot though. Let's not get that wrong. But like especially Rachel Zegler, who plays Anthena. See the movie; it'll make more sense. And she could get a man to do anything for her. You're like, I want you to fucking stab yourself. All right, you want me to slit my throat? Actually, I would think slitting my throat would do it if you want me to kill myself. She's like, actually, yes, slit your throat. I'm like, okay. And slit my throat I do. Like that woman, like, and she's like flirting with the cripple Freddy. And like that's Freddy's like, I'm going to protect her with everything I do. I'm like, yeah, I would do the same. At the same time, I'm going to tell you, like, don't live your life for a woman like this. But I'm like, also, it's Rachel Zegler. I'm like, she's like, she is younger than me, but like, also like, I feel like I'm still young. I could be convinced to do anything. She could convince me to do any fucking thing, dude. Anyways, also do want to say, they need to stop having bullies beat the shit and like fucking assault Freddy. I assume it's a very light form of cerebral palsy because he only has to have one crutch, and even without the crutch, he kind of moved okay. But I feel like that's just like the movie trying to make it work, and the actor's like, okay, what would someone like this do? He's a decent actor, the kid. Anyways, though, like Rachel Zegler would do anything for me. And don't pick on cripples, people. God already, God damn it, dude. God already did that. And like, if God's being a dick to someone, don't be a dick to him too, Only God can be a dick to me, that is good advice though. If God's being a dick to someone, don't be a dick to them too. You shouldn't be a dick to people, but like also if like God's already being a dick to someone. Like I remember I met people, like, yeah, I see why these people are bullied, but I'm not going to bully them because God is already bullying them. But also we have the question, will the Shazam franchise make it into the new DCU? I think people who worked on the film were just like, and it's like a Peter Safran thing. He's the co with James Gunn. I feel like it's gonna be okay. James Gunn also mentions like, yeah, it's kind of happening. It hasn't really had a need to connect with anything yet, and then what James Gunn wants to do is kind of reboot a lot of things to make it, worthwhile for a team up or whatever. Like Justice Society, that was a good fucking thing. His wife was in the movie. I have to assume it's gonna stay. I'm just making a guess here. But yeah, the Flash movie is going to apparently like reset a lot of things, and James Gunn's like, it's a really good movie, and then everyone's like, that fucking they them pedophile is in it. And I feel like they can make it like, look, we filmed all this long before that shit happened. And a lot of people worked on this movie. That's the problem with the background thing. A lot of people work on movies. And their work should be celebrated. Even, like, if you watch Morbius, it's like, yeah, the script sucked. But then, like, you see, like, some scenes and, like, you look at how things were colored or look at how things were placed in the background and how the director had them standing. I'm like, there's things you can appreciate. Like, those people working on those films, I feel like was it Gary Clark Jr. I was going to say dude from Austin, like Gary Clark Jr. He did, a cover of "Come Together" by the Beatles for the Justice League soundtrack, not the Zack Snyder one, the Joss Whedon one. And that song was really cool. Like, that version was really cool, but it was with a shit movie. So you're like, well, they got a cool song for it, Yada, yada, yada. Though, anyways, though, I really hope they keep the Shazam franchise going. It is really fun. It is really fun. It's really fun to see, like, kids being adult superheroes, It's like kids being superheroes, but kids being adult superheroes. Everyone sees them as adults, but, like, they're kids, Very, very, very goofy stuff.
I like that.
Have you ever cracked open a cold one with the boys? The vibes are on, then all of a sudden, you are out of cold ones? Though the vibes are still on, the vibes will soon go off because you are out of cold ones. There's no need to drive when you're under the vibes. That's why today's sponsor, Drizly, is here to make sure that the vibes continue. Drizly gets all your favorite beer, seltzer, wine, whiskey, and much more delivered directly to your home. With their easy-to-use mobile app, we are getting one step closer to never leaving our homes. It's saying something when it's being praised as the Amazon for liquor. Drizly is my go-to app for getting all the booze I need so I can do other things. So using our link in the description today, you can save $5 off your first purchase through Drizly. Drizly has proprietary ID verification technology that it provides to its retail partners that allows drivers to scan IDs for more than a barcode to make sure the purchaser is over 21 years old in the US and of legal drinking age in Canada. Retailers on Drizly may have a minimum order or delivery fee. So using our link in the description, get $5 off your first order with Drizly. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. You're not a boomer who still goes to what our ancient civilizations called a store. You buy everything on the internet like a modern individual. What if I could tell you that you could be saving more on your purchases by only making a few clicks on your computer? That's where today's sponsor, Honey, will change your life. Honey is a free browser extension you can download using the link in our description of this episode. Honey searches the entire internet for promo code, coupon codes, free shipping, and anything else that will save you money when buying things online. It's 100% free, and at no point will you have to pay for it with all of those many, many microtransactions. It's as simple as pressing a single button, and you can start saving money. Not using Honey is basically throwing money away that could be saved for more important things. I recently had to get business cards for myself, and Honey literally saved me 60% on a pack of 500 business cards. It was amazing. Add the Honey extension to your browser today for free by using the link in our description of this episode. And when you use our links, you directly support this show.
Oh no! Our table!
It's time for Oh No, Our Table, the part... That's such a fucking dumb title. The part of the episode where I answer all of your questions, any question that you may possibly have. Any question is, I've come to think about it. I think this show is just, what the hell did I see on the internet this week? I think that's just what we're turning out to. The show is turning out to. It's like, what the hell happened on the internet this week? So let's just jump in.
Let's just jump into it.
Let's jump into our first question we got here. How do I find a virgin GF? I think GF stands for girlfriend. All right.
What?
All right, so virgin girlfriend. I honestly think it does suck if you're if you're a virgin. I don't know. The whole stigma of like losing your virginity and shit. American Pie movies. There is that whole stigma of like you being a virgin and shit like that, and so it's like lose your virginity, and then assuming like I've had sex with maybe 10 people, and like hopefully the number's low when you get married, and like I don't know my number. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just have not cared. Also, there's some other reasons I probably wouldn't remember some things either.
That's rough, buddy.
That's a different story. That's for another podcast. You can really use that for another day. No, that's for another podcast. But yeah, so like the virgin thing, and like I said, I grew up Christian, part of the bingo board. I think the bingo board will be better than, was it the drinking game? The bingo board will 100% be better, because we can get multiple things. I just go over shit like that. But yeah, no, I grew up Christian, into it, and I read something that made me feel better today. It's like some people leave Christianity not because they don't believe anymore, or believe in it anymore. It's because they follow Jesus so much that they're like, I can't do this, I'm out. Just going with Cosmo Kramer, I'm out, and shit like that. So that, a virgin girlfriend is very desired there, and I probably could make a good guesstimation that, when finding a wife went into basically what you have to do was convince a dad to let you marry her daughter, like his daughter. And it was like, what if I give you a goat? And you're like, I don't know. I don't think you'd be very good. What if I give you 2 goats? I'm like, I'll make that money back. Yeah, sure, you can date. And it's like the firstborn daughter is better than the other. I don't know how that works. I'm just like, if I was going to be in an arranged marriage, I'm going to try to arrange to get a fucking hottie, I'm just like thinking of Indian people for them. I'm like, there's some fucking hot Indian women, which is weird because I've seen some of the men. But I've seen some of the Indians are similar to white people. And it's like, when they handsome up, they handsome up. They be handsome. But when they're normal, they're not that good. That's like the Indians are just Asian white people. That's a good fucking thing to say. I don't know. If you want an arranged marriage, I guess you want a virgin. I don't know. I don't want to break someone's hymen anymore, And I'm not going to even get into anything. You've broken hymens before? I'm not going to get into that shit. I'm not going to fucking get into that. It's my fucking show. You can't be telling me how to do my own show. Anyways, how do you find a virgin girlfriend? So I hope me talking persuaded you into thinking I don't agree with this. But anyways, though, I do have to give you advice. That's the rule. That's the rule of the podcast. If you ask for advice, I do have to give it to you. And it may not always be the best advice, but it'll work. So, virgin girlfriend. So if you want to meet a woman who is a virgin, first thing, buddy, you find horse girls. Because I'm going to say a religion, like go into religion. Before I even do that, I want to say horse girls. I want to go into horse girls because not many of them are given or they're not getting their pussies. Their pussies are not wet. Like they see a horse, their pussies are getting wet, but like it's from like stimulation when horseback riding. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to be a dick. So I'm not going to win anything like that. Horse girls probably aren't meeting a lot of guys, but living up to them is that. But a lot of horse girls are they do go to church a lot. And church girls are if a virgin girlfriend is what you want. I really hope you're like a young guy. Please don't be like fucking my age. Be like, how do I get a virgin girlfriend? I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of teens haven't lost their virginity. It's like you have to find young women, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna just assume you're like a young guy looking for a virgin girlfriend. This is gonna make me feel gross, isn't this? I think church, like if you're white, go to church. If you're black, go to black church. I don't know why we had to segregate. God was down for black segregation in his church. If you're Muslim thing, I think they're pretty good about that. I don't know what the Jews are doing. These Jews are I don't know what the Jews are doing. Like you're like, I don't think they're following their thing. But they're just like sticking together. Like, the Jews could be doing anything right now. And as a religion, as a race, they're fine. As a religion, though, I have no clue what they're fucking doing. Like Seth Rogen is your biggest advocate. Adam Sandler is your biggest advocate. Like, I don't know, like the very Jewish people, they got to figure that shit out. But you find the church and then find like the nerdiest girl there, like so nerdy. I'm like, I don't think the nerdy guys are even in on her. Like that's how you find a virgin girlfriend. It's not funny.
What?
It's not. Don't laugh. Don't laugh at my show. How do I accurately simulate the feeling of being kissed on the cheek? What the fuck? Dude, oh my god, dude, this is the fucking... I'm gonna tell you, this is the second saddest fucking thing I've read on the internet. I'm considering this what I've read on the internet. This is the second saddest thing I've ever read on the internet. The first one you may... Because, you know, when you say, like, the second, you know, because I talk about this one time I went to a Jersey Mike's, and it was the second worst diarrhea of my life. And when I tell people about it, you know, either like, oh, have you eaten Jersey Mike's? Or like, yeah, I had the second worst diarrhea of my life. Or, you know, when you say it the second, people are going to be asking, what was the first? And so when I talk about how this is the second saddest thing I've read on the internet, I'm probably going to have to tell you the first saddest thing. I don't know. It was on one of these Ask forums or whatever, and I don't even know what subreddit. I can't tell you what subreddit it was, but the guy was basically like, this OnlyFans woman who he has been subscribing to did a sex video with a guy, and she seemed very into it. And the words he wrote down, not my words, I'm not like exaggerating for the story, I'm just trying to quote what he wrote down. It was like, the pussy juices glowing off of his dick type of thing. He's like, and I'm just devastated that she's such into sex with him, but not me. And that was, you know, in like he described how a guy had sex with a woman on camera, a woman that he has been paying to follow because he loves her so much, and it's just like, and people are like, make fun of that guy. I'm like, I'm going to, yeah, that's obviously going to happen, but it also makes me feel sad, and there is a correlation between things that make me feel sad and the things that I'm going to laugh about. Somehow those wires got poorly crossed. And shit like that. So, but yeah, it's like, imagine the woman you love. And I think I want to talk to the fellas for a second. Fellas, just imagine the woman you love. Like, you're like, you know, some of you may be your spouse. Some of you, it may be someone who got away. For some of you, it could be Rachel Zelger from the new Shazam movie. But what I'm trying to say is, that woman, you love that woman so much, and then you have to watch a video of her getting fucked by some dude, and by the amount of lubrication that has come out of a woman naturally glistens off his dick, but it's like your wife made that. Like, that is the saddest thing I've ever read. Brother, how do you simulate it? There's no way to simulate a kiss on the cheek. I don't know what you're fucking going off after. All I'm really going to be able to tell you is it gets better, brother. Either find some, just, you know, who was the chick on Friends who was like, oh my God, Chandler? That chick, every guy needs one of those, but then those chicks need. It's all a chain, you know, and I can't go on anymore talking about it. What does it mean when a woman calls you handsome? I have struggled my whole life to understand this word/compliment. My whole life, I'm socially awkward, and it's sometimes hard for me to understand word meanings at times. The Urban Dictionary or the dictionary can only take you so far. Now, brother, I want to help you out with this, because handsome is a hard word to be called. Now, as a guy calling a woman handsome, it only leads to comedy. It's only comedy. It is only comedy if you call a woman handsome. It is all comedy. Because, like, imagine you have a friend, you know, you could be friends with the opposite sex. You know, it's fine. And it's like, you know, if she wanted to fuck, I'd be down to it right now. But also, like, I don't think her as a person is only worth being friends with because of a possibility for sex in a 1 out of a million lifetimes. You know, and you're just friends with them because they also kind of, you enjoy being around them. And, like, that's kind of what makes you attracted to them in the first place. You know, those are women you should call handsome. You're like, do you think I'm attractive? Like, you know, it's your friend who you're not going to fuck. And you're like, do you think I'm attractive? Like, you're very handsome. Okay. You know, it's like a compliment and a funny thing. But anyways, though, we're talking about like when women call you handsome. So I will say if a woman calls you handsome, first of all, I'm going to tell you, you're not ugly. And if you think, and I'm telling you, if you think a woman is calling you handsome, but she really thinks you're ugly, here's what to do, fellas. I think this is like a man question. This is for the men. This is a men's question. Not penis havers. I'm talking to men. Vagina men, you're involved. If a woman calls you handsome and you're still questioning, is she just saying that? Or like, what does she mean? Because I think men want to be called sexy. But if you go to a gay bar and guys hit on you, that's the thing. They'll hit on you and don't tell them you're straight. Just like reject them nicely. We're like, make them feel good, but like then pretend someone else is your boyfriend. I don't know. Pretend another straight is your boyfriend. Like that's how you know you're not ugly. Is you go to a gay bar and some guys say, even if you're fat, some women don't care if you're fat, fellas. Just like don't be so fat that you feel uncomfortable. You know, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, though, if a woman calls you handsome, she's not calling you. She's calling you like there is an attractiveness to you. I think men would wish they were called like sexy or hot and shit like that, but handsome is like a good word for women to call men, you know. And sexy, like, we all wish we were sexy. And like, I know what my body looks like. I make an effort every time I take a shower to look at my naked body in the mirror. My like sad, soft penis, my gut, like how big are my titties in this current moment, you know. It's a thing, you know. And then when a woman calls you handsome, it's like, you know, they don't, you know, some women want abs, some women want a keg, you know. What six pack's not worth it when you can have the whole keg, you know. But also don't be like fucking the whale. Oh, help me out.
Man proposes and God disposes.
Also, don't be that guy who fucking is fat as hell and jerks off on camera. Low quality too, so it makes it even better for some reason. It's always low quality videos. Maybe I should lower the quality of this podcast videos so people just start watching it on YouTube more. You know, no. If a woman's calling you handsome, that's a good sign. That means you do not make her dry. I feel like I'm right here. Ladies, fill me in here if I'm saying something wrong. But if you're calling a guy handsome, you're telling him, at least to a point, that you do not make me dry, okay? I have to be right. Like, if some people are like, you're wrong on this specific subject. But if a woman calls you handsome, it also means you don't make her dry. That's 100% a fact. And I would fight all of you to prove that wrong. Or whatever I was supposed to say in that moment. Whatever. Is it possible for someone to be gay or lesbian and not know they are? No. That's the weird thing, though. I feel like my brother came out as gay. I think he was basically 18 by the time he came out as gay. And I'm going to let you all know this. He came out as gay at 18. Oh, so that's when he started being gay? No, that's not when he started. He's probably gay a lot longer before that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. For me, it was like you watch a cartoon. Was it Kim Possible was for me. And, like, something makes you feel funny. Like, oh, that makes you feel funny. Like, girls have it, too. You know, your pants feel funny. You know, I hear so much shit. You know, Johnny Bravo, that's why so many women love me. But no, like, you know, I know for guys, and like, you know, we watch a show when we're kids or whatever, and it's like, oh, that's something. Like, hope this doesn't ruin me someday. And like other guys, the guys who like the wieners, like they watch that shit, you know, they watch cartoons, but they're like attracted. They're like, oh, fucking Nigel Thornberry. Like that guy gets me, you know, that guy gets you up, you know, and shit like that. So like, you know, and some people are like, I was born this way, and clearly, like, I feel like, yes, you were born that way because like that situation, like you being born was like a gay person, but like also, like, I don't think 2-year-olds are sexually attracted to anything. But also, you know, I'm hopefully trying to say something nice. But also, like, my first cartoon attraction was Kim Possible. Most people was Lola Bunny. Therefore, I am better than all of you because I'm not a furry. If your first choice was Lola Bunny, and you know what, you could change your mind after you listen to this podcast, but before you listen to this podcast, it was Lola Bunny. So therefore, you're the perverts because you're into fucking rabbits. So,
I identify as a fucking threat.
I hit the iPad way too hard. Why do so many people want you to get back out there right after a long-term relationship? It truly confuses me when the people in my life insist I go on dates with people less than 24 hours after my 5-year relationship ending, and when I try to explain how the last thing I want is another relationship right now and that I need to heal however long that takes, I'm met with an argument of, what? Why? Don't give up on the dating world, just give it a shot. Huh? There is nothing I would want less than to get into another relationship right now. I need at least a few months to heal, or even a couple years. I'll decide when I want to get back out there, and no one seems to understand that, and they somehow find it strange and like the wrong decision. I generally get offended when a guy is trying to ask me out on a date, knowing I just got out of a long-term relationship. Like, what does he think is going to happen? Why would he ever think I would actually be down for that, considering the circumstances? People would just jump from the long-term relationships to another one. Why does it seem like being single and healing is such a crazy idea? I thought you were a guy at the beginning. Why do I feel like just guys are the other ones writing into this show? It's a woman. Okay, so you were in a relationship with a man. Okay, so that changes a lot of what I'm thinking here. One thing I do think friends want to be good friends with is like, oh, you're single now, let's just get you laid, you know? A good friend, you know, I feel like in my world, I feel like it's a good mission for me to be like, I want to help people get laid. And I feel like that's the whole purpose of this. You know, consensual sex, you know, consensual nutting on both sides, people. You know.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
We're wanting consensual nutting, you know, on both sides. That's my goal in life, is just to everyone to just release their demons and relax, you know. That's what I want to do in life. So you're a woman, you dated a guy. So I think, you know, I think the friend thing to do is like, man, this guy is bumming me out, or this girl is bumming me out. Let's get them laid. You know, that's one thing. You know, another thing is I feel like it was probably too soon for you, because like there's a time frame. I give myself 6 months. If I'm in like a serious relationship and then it dies, you know, 6 months is usually the time frame I've usually been living in for a while. But you know, everyone's different and shit like that. But you know, at some point it's good to think like, hey, I'm not feeling the mood right now. That's okay. I think that's a good viewpoint to live life. Is like, hey, I was in something serious. I don't think now is the best time, you know, to do that shit. You know, makes sense. But at some point, I feel like it's healthy. Like, you can't be going like 5 years, like doing that shit. Like I say, 6 months is a good time frame for that shit. Because it's like jumping into a pool, and you know, it's like it's hot outside, but the pool is fucking frozen cold. And so when you jump into it, it's going to be cold, but like, you know, jumping into it straight on, I feel like is a little bit easier than, you know, like, you know, people were like, I'm going to put a foot in, it's cold, and try to get used to it that way. I feel like just jumping in straight at it, or just rolling down the slide or whatever. It's just that good shock, and that's, you know, to cool you off and shit like that. And I think that's what some people think too, because there's a right time. Let's think about getting back out there, going dating again. The right time there's probably isn't a right time for you. There'll never be the right time. But at some point, you need to jump into the pool. And it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but you're going to get used to it a lot faster if you try to, jump into it, the right way. I feel like jumping into the pool, just getting it all over with is easier than like trying to tiptoe it. That's how you should live your life. It's my life. It's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I wish I was a creative person. I feel so boring not being one. I aspire to be like the actors I see on TV, songwriters, directors. All around me, people seem to be so artistic and I just consume it. Does anyone relate? I do not relate, but I'm also an expert on this situation. Sounds like you have a healthy life. And I feel like creative people always have like some trauma they're trying to get over, that they have some trauma they can never get over, but like some people are good at like figuring that shit out or whatever. I feel like you're not traumatized and you don't have a weird desire or a weird thing. And I think the one thing about being a creative person that people don't talk about is the whole act of like your willingness to learn. So if you're like someone who's like, I like learning, I like hearing things, stuff like that, and when it's to a creative mark, because I've been like, I bought an Apple Pencil for like my iPad Air, and I'm in like trying to learn how to draw. Oh, I'm not like trying to learn because I'm not taking like classes, but I'm like trying to draw because I know as a musician, you can't get good at an instrument just from like watching a video. You have to pick up the instrument and do it. And like drawing, you have to continue to do it. Nice thing about the iPad is you're not wasting like a million sheets of paper for something, and stuff like that. So that, that's me trying to be creative artistically, with drawing. I can talk to you about music and film and stuff like that. And, I could talk to you a little about film. I'll just get into film right now. The idea of film, there's a specific purpose. And even, I do movie reviews of kind of ridiculous movies. And, like the meaning why this movie was made. I'm like, this is a fun thing. And I think people will enjoy it and love it. Just people have a good time watching it. If that's the case, that's fine. Then you watch like artistic pieces that get nominated for the Oscars. Like it's telling a story, it's telling a narrative, it's supposed to have like a lesson to it. And that's why I always joke around when I do movie reviews. It's like, what was the lesson of this movie? And you watch a ridiculous dumb movie and you're like, the lesson was, it was like Jack Frost. It's like, don't wish your dead dad back as a snowman because you will cry very hard less than a year after his death. Like that's the answer to the question. And so I feel like creative is like longing for it. And I do have to think like you have to find a creative outlet for yourself. And it's so, I think I'm so weird on the other edge. I think last week I talked about, I got some high school kids asking me, like, how do you start writing music? I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, I just hit the guitar, try to play something and then record it and make something from there. But like tell someone like from ground zero to try to do it. I'm like, it's an interesting question. How do you start writing music? Like that's, like you can start learning music theory. You can, there's so many directions you can take, but like, oh, you need, because a lot of people will be like, you need to understand this first. I'm like, if we don't have to have like a prerequisite to it. How do you start writing music? It's such an interesting proposal to musicians. I'm like, how do you write music? Like, it's like, like pick up your guitar, figure out some chord changes, and then go for it. I'm like, well, you need to understand how chord changes work. And, like the answer to that question when I try to old kids, because I'm a music genius, is that find chord progressions that you like and write over them, because chord progressions are not copyrightable. I don't know if that's the word, but you can't copyright or you can't like own chord progressions, but you can own melodies. So if you get the chord progressions and then write a melody on top of it, I like to do it to songs that I am very disconnected from and don't really know the melody to it. So that makes me feel better. But yeah. Anyways, be creative. Just start making something and figure out a kind of direction from there. I would say, like, oh, do you want to be an actor? Audition for a play, and hopefully you can get at least something of a part and try to be creative there and like figure out the backstory of the actor. Songwriters, do you know an instrument? Because that's going to help. Figure out find a song that has an easy chord progression. Use that chord progression. Try to sing a melody on top of that, and then write from there. So the directors, get your phone out, try to make something. You know, artistic. You know, get a cheap knockoff Apple Pencil and an iPad and go from there. You know, I think that's just do it. I like Macklemore, but I don't think I'm supposed to. But like the greats weren't great because at birth they could paint. The greats were great because they painted a lot. You know, you just gotta find things you like, do it a lot, and then move on from there. That's why I keep doing podcasts. You know, I'm like 118 episodes of this. Moving on. Do adults still laugh at dirty jokes? I've seen videos of people who are about 27 plus in age laughing at dirty jokes like dick and balls or that's what she said, for example. I was wondering if they're just an exception or if many adults laugh at jokes like that. Here's a good question. Yeah, I like this question because, yes, adults still laugh at dirty jokes. Like, there's, everyone's different. If you're in school, I'm assuming that you're a person who's probably in school, and, like, your classmates, like, some classmates will like dirty jokes. Some classmates will not like dirty jokes, not at all. And figuring that out, you're like, okay, some people are prudes, some people are cool. And, eventually you have your friends marry the prudes and they get divorced and shit like that. That's a whole other thing. That's a thing that's for someone else. Yeah, no, like if you're a kid who laughs at dirty jokes, you're going to be an adult who laughs at dirty jokes. Even if like your wife doesn't like dirty jokes and you're like a guy and you're like, I still like dirty jokes. So I'll, enjoy dirty jokes in my time, but I won't subject my wife to them. Like that's what I do with my mom. I accidentally send her I like to, in the middle of the night, I like to think of dumb things and text friends, like my dumb thoughts. And that really helps me with like this show too. Also, like some of those thoughts have come on this show. And I accidentally sent one to my mom while she was sleeping. Then 2 days later, she's like, why'd you text me a dirty joke? I'm like, I actually texted back, I'm like, sorry, this wasn't for you. So you shouldn't be telling those jokes anyway. I'm like, well, I like to know my audience, and you were not my audience, Dirty jokes are great. The problem is when you become an adult, like if you're an adult, like you got to think dirty jokes probably don't work with your job unless like you do a podcast or are you a musician. Radio host probably not even anymore because of like FCC rules where like podcasts don't have that, or like, well, don't kill anyone and do illegal shit on your podcast. I'm like, all right, that's fine with me. Or whatever. And then YouTube's like terms of service, that really affects your audio too. But yeah, no, that is kind of sad, like, that kids don't know that. But, like, your job, like, you're working a normal job. You can't be, you find guys who are, like, cool with that and like that, but then there's people who aren't cool with it. And you can't be subjecting people who aren't cool with it to that shit. But it's okay, to your friends and stuff like that and joke around and stuff like that. Also, don't be, like, a dick to women, That's shit like that. Like, I was surprised I had a friend who, like, her dad was this is her, like, and I know her as well as I probably say, her dad was a pervert, but I'm like, I say dirty jokes all the time, and she did not, like, that was not bad. It was like, oh yeah, because we're not like, let's hold a woman down and cage her up. Like, shit, dude. Yeah, adults, I just want to say, yeah, if you're a kid and watching this, like, adults love dirty jokes. Like, there's the time of adults. I went to a Quick Trip. The change amount was $69. Oh, and I was like pulling out my money. I'm like, oh yeah, and change amount, nice. And he's like, God, and like the cashier was like, God, I was thinking that too. But I know you can't say anything, because he's fucking doing his work. He's doing a job. Like, not everyone wants to hear fucking like sex jokes when like someone's providing them a service they're paying for. It's just like you know the right times and the wrong times. And I think why you think adults don't like dirty jokes is because, you're a parent and you don't want, like your parents are going to be a little rough because they're like, we can't have you saying that fucking shit in front of other people, but if you say it in front of us, it's also really funny. So that's what dirty jokes are for adults. We love them. Most of us love them. The cool ones love them. And they don't like them. Like, honestly, if you don't like dirty jokes, like, it's going to be a really hard time, like, being my friend or acquaintance or whatever, when you're not, like, a family figure who would not like that. So. Well, regardless, though, that's how we're ending today. We finished another episode of Cancel Schweezy. You finish these shit things, and you just start editing, you move on to next week. It's like a whole fucking roller coaster. Roller coaster, I found a no. Roller coaster, you don't know. Jack Antonoff writes not good music anymore, but I wish it was because he's smart. This is the ending of Cancel Schweezy, at least for this episode. Thank you for listening to the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Make sure you checking it out. Social media under @TheSchweezy. My music under Schweezy. Twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. Connect your Amazon Prime account. Hit the subscribe instead of follow and financially support us like you can on Patreon, where it's a tip jar right now. If you're on the audio platforms, check out our YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube page. And while you're there, share the highlights with all your friends and family and grandmas and grandpas and shit like that. And leave us a comment, because that's going to be the best place to leave comments that I'm interested in. And if you're on the audio platforms, like I said, leave a review and give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1-star rating. So, honk if you love butt drugs. Stay awesome. Believe it or not, Schweg isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out, or I'd pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home. You just finished a full episode of Cancel Schweezy. You are now one of the smartest individuals who will ever exist in our world. If you like that episode, make sure you subscribe. Whether you're watching this show or listening to the show, make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified whenever we release full new episodes as well. And if you're on YouTube, smash that bell button. That way you get notified anytime we make a post over here on YouTube. Honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.